We are back here on First Things First. We're going viral. Donovan Mitchell dropped 23 in a losing effort last night against Philly. However, he did get some great news earlier in the day. Check out this tweet from Blaze. I'm lucky enough to know Donovan since I was in 2nd grade, and I now have the honor of being the first one to introduce and interview Donovan Mitchell on the launch of his new Adidas shoe. Donovan responded to the tweet by saying, blessed with the praying hands emoji, which I thought was a high five this whole time. Mitchell's shoe will be called the Don Issue #1.
All right, so 2 things. One, Jenna, you're not the only person. A lot of people get confused that the praying hands or high five.
Thank you.
So you're not the only one. Don't feel badly there. For Donovan Mitchell, there's fewer NBA players than you would think that have their own actual signature shoe. There's only about a dozen of them. So this is a big deal for him. It's really cool. I guess Don stands for determination over negativity. Also, of course, his name, Donovan, so that's why it's Don Issue #1. So one of your favorite guys, see?
Yeah, definitely a hallmark moment for any athlete that gets their own shoe. Guys dream about, man, one day I want to have a contract with the shoe company. No, really don't even think about one day having your own shoe. Tremendous, tremendous honor.
Is there a high five emoji? Just not to.
I think people use that as it's both the praying hands and the high five.
I gave you one of those last week. I thought it was a high five, but I also was praying for you. So.
I thought it was you were just repeating it. Ever since I met you, I've been praying.
Time now, let's toss to break. Time now for stories to start your morning. Despite encouraging MRI results, it looks like LeBron James suffered a significant left groin strain. The King is expected to miss several games. CeCe, what was your reaction to this news?
I mean, I thought it was significant with LeBron not being out there because that's one of the things that he takes a lot of pride in. When he didn't come onto the court, when the team decided not to get an MRI locally there in the Oakland area or go to Sacramento where the team was traveling to, when they decided to bring him back to Los Angeles, get an MRI there, that made it more significant to me. Any game LeBron James misses is significant in the 16th year of his career because he has only missed a few. Don't rush yourself back to make this worse than what it is right now.
And he's never had an extended stretch of time missed due to injury. He missed 16 games the first season in Cleveland, and it was dealing with a back, but it was also, he kind of took a mid-season vacation. Other than that, he's played at least 74 games every year of his career. I'm very interested to see what several means. Does several mean 3 to 5? The Lakers survived that. Does it mean 8 to 10? Not sure how well they can survive that. So this is obviously something very important to watch after they lost a game last night that they had firm control over.
The Warriors lost an overtime thriller to the Blazers last night, 110-109. Golden State couldn't close it out late in the game, paired with an abysmal night from the free throw line, going 6 of 15, rare for this team. Nick, you worried at all about the Warriors' recent shooting struggles?
The shooting struggles I am not worried about. The fact that they're no longer a dominant home team is really interesting to me. They have, I think, 4 20-point home losses this year. Yesterday, they lost a game. Last night, they lost a game that they never lose, where they've got a 2-point lead late with the ball with 10 seconds left, and they turn the ball over. Because if it turns into free throw competition, the Warriors almost always win that game. So they are showing a little cracks in the armor, but I don't think it's sustainable cracks, if you will.
Well, Jenna, I'm concerned a number of things. They used to never lose at home. Now they're doing that. Back-to-back losses at home. That's something we're not used to seeing. And one of the things that made them so special was their overall offensive efficiency. With Clay not shooting the way we're used to seeing, Draymond played better last night, but I believe his struggles will continue on the offense. And then you add Boogie Cousins to that mix, well, we don't know what that's going to do. So if a team that's been great shooting the ball continues to struggle, yes, that would be a great concern of mine.
They did have a great look at the end to win it. I thought KD was going to make that 12-footer we just showed.
All right, ending with the Cowboys taking on the Giants in Week 17. So Dallas is locked into that 4th seed with their NFC East title, but they will reportedly still trot out their stars onto the field Sunday. CeCe, what do the Cowboys need to do to shore up on this team heading into the playoffs?
A couple things, and most of them being on the offensive side. You got to be able to protect Dak Prescott. Too many sacks. That also leads to him understanding what protections are weaker than the other ones. Where are my soft spots in this protection to be able to get rid of the football, to be able to help out that offensive line? Because I just don't believe you can continue to take that many sacks and continue to be effective offensively. Typically, when you get sacked in a drive in the NFL, you're not going to score points. That in the passing game. It has not been dependable, not only the short passing game, but being able to throw the ball consistently deep deep on a regular basis. I know in talking to Sanjay Lau, their wide receiver coach, one thing he was trying to improve in their passing game with Amari Cooper, because he didn't say Dak was not a good deep ball thrower, but he said Amari Cooper, he thought in the wide receivers could be a lot better at running deeper patterns down the field. So trying to get both of those groups on the same page with that passing attack.
I'm in full agreement that one of the reasons you're playing Dak this week is because you don't want him to go into the playoffs having played a terrible game against Indy and then a game against Tampa where he completed 80% of his passes, 20 of 25 for 160 yards. Like, it's tough to have no picks, 80% completions, and a bad game passing. I think Dak did that. But the other part, and this isn't just Dak, is the red zone stuff. This is the 30th ranked red zone team. There aren't many things I can say with certainty about these NFL playoffs, but here's one of them. If the Cowboys struggle in the red zone in the playoffs, they're going to have a very short life in the playoffs. They do not have enough firepower offensively to overcome first and goal turning into 3 points, to overcome what they've been doing all year long, which is driving the ball down the field and then trotting out Brett Maher, who, by the way, has been one of the best kickers in football this year, for 28-yard field goals, for 22-yard field goals, because they're kicking from within the 5. They've got to be better in the red zone. That's obviously not deep down the field passing, but it does have to do with the passing game, and it has to do with what Steve's talking about, taking sacks. A lot of those red zone drives have been stalled because when they do call a passing play, Dak ends up on his back, and now you're in third and goal from the 14, and nobody succeeds from that spot.
All right, let's move on to the Colts and Titans. 15 games played, and for these two teams, it all comes down to this. The winner gets a playoff berth. The loser gets an early vacation. Andrew Luck has the Titans number, going a perfect 10-0 in his career against them. And with Colts winning 8 of their last 9, the safe bet would be Indy. But I'm not much of a gambler, said Nick Wright to me every day. CC, what do you expect to see in this game?
This should be a good football game. The Titans, very, very tough, very, very physical football team in Vrabel's first year as a head coach, being the disciple of Belichick. This is a team that typically week in and week out, they're going to be buttoned up as far as the game time situations. They're going to try to run the football, eat up time possession. Marcus Mariota has been in and out of the lineup throughout the year. So to me, do I trust Andrew Luck more than the quarterback situation? Yes. And do I trust their defense, that being the Colts more so than the Titans? I do. And one reason, one only. There's only 3 teams in the NFL this year, that being the Texans and the Saints, that have not given up a 100-yard rusher, and that being the Colts. So if there's one dependable thing in this football game, you can depend on the Colts holding you under 100 yards rushing. Andrew Luck has been remarkable in his comeback. Limited personnel. Eric Ebron resurrecting his career, making the Pro Bowl as a tight end after Detroit gave up on him. And we know always open T.Y. Hilton having a tremendous season. So to me, I think the Colts are able to get it done. Better football team, great story.
If the Colts are able to hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards, then I don't think the Titans have a path to victory. Like, the reason the Titans are in this position is because Derrick Henry last 3 weeks has been extraordinary. 164 yards rushing per game is what he's averaging over the last 3 weeks, to go along with 7 touchdowns. Now, there was one monster game involved in that in national television, but the other 2 games surrounding it, he's been very good as well. The Titans are a team that went to the playoffs last year and overcame an 18-point halftime deficit on the road against Kansas City to win a playoff game last year. They have been around 500 all year long and just staying alive, and they go into week 17 alive not only for the playoffs, but they could win that division if they win this game and the Texans lose on Sunday. So I don't want to disrespect the Titans, who are at home and have a shot in this game. But I would be very surprised if the Colts don't continue what they're doing. They started 1-5. Since then, they have played 8 really good games, with one confusing game, the loss to Jacksonville, where the offense could get nothing going. Andrew Luck, even with a hampered T.Y. Hilton, you saw him last week in the comeback against the Giants, making plays with his legs, finding guys downfield. He is the difference maker in this football game. He's the reason why. I guarantee you this, the rest of the AFC that's in the playoffs are rooting for Tennessee this weekend, because the Colts are a dangerous team if they get into the tournament.
We talk so much about trust. I have a hard time trusting Marcus Mariota. Whether he plays or not, I'm sure he will play. I have a hard time trusting him leading this Titans offense.
Yeah, he hasn't developed. You're right. You shouldn't trust him at this point. He should be far more effective as a passer, and with him being a dual threat, now we see him starting to get nicked up and starting to miss time. Their wide receiving core does not make the type of plays. Delaney Walker, they're all pro tight end. He's been out since the first game of the season. So it's been a challenge for them. Absent of their running game, their offensive line is a big, physical offensive line. And whoever's out there, please don't pick no fight with Taylor Lewan. Like, leave him alone. Like, he is a guy on a mission. He got bad things in mind. So they have not been able to match a consistent passing game with that dominant physical running attack.
We don't